live on a Thursday. It's always lovely and encouraging to see the regulars and the new people and people joining from around the world. So thank you so much. Today we're specifically looking at detoxification, one of my favorite areas because it's the step one in everything. In other words, it's no use providing nutrients to the body if there's too much toxicity, because what will happen is the parasites will eat the nutrients, the toxins are in the way, they're blocking the absorption of the nutrients into the cells, the cell membrane hasn't got the right electrical potential, and the whole body's just not in homeostasis at all. So rather don't give nutrients in the beginning because they're just going to swim past the cells. They won't go inside. So we have to get the terrain right, the homeostasis right, the electrical potential right, the battery charged, the electrons charged, the oxygen in the cell, the peptides, the RNA, DNA, replica peptides inside the cell, ready for new cell division, ready to repair cells, tissues, organs, and systems in the body. That needs to happen first, and then we can bring in the wonderful nutrients. I'm not saying don't eat. You can bring the nutrients in as well, but don't be surprised if they don't all get absorbed, because a lot of people are, sitting with a 50% absorption rate. So don't spend your money there. Rather spend it wisely on detoxification and eat well. Focus on your lifestyle. Focus on reducing stress, getting in the sun, earthing, absorbing the water that you are drinking, breathing. Those things are critical, and that's nourishment for the body in the first place anyway. Just step outside, the cosmic dust falls down, you get fed anyway. The sun feeds you, the earth feeds you. So don't worry about nutrients. I think a lot of attention is placed in the world on food and growing food, and that's true, but actually, we do have things at our disposal that feed us, and I've proved it. So I'm just going to plant that seed. So we're going to be focusing on detoxification, and I'm going to take you through this week of March where we've looked at the 2026 health revolution, the age of prevention. And I'm a little bit late today because it's so interesting. The case study that I'm doing today, the very girl in the case study brought her partner today for the HIELO process, which is the NQB quantum assessment, the live blood analysis, and they've walked out with their bundle of products, and we're going to be monitoring them and taking it further. Next week he's coming in for the holistic, ancestral, emotional, generational clearing. Actually, I ran out of paper. The amount of injuries, the amount of operations, the amount of parasites in him, the amount of emotional disorder in the family is unbelievable. And, he's had 2 shoulder ops, not surprising. If you're going to shoulder those childhood experiences your whole life and take them into the grave, it's your choice. It's not mine. So we're going to start next week and heal. And we did see some extraordinary things in the live blood, very concerning. And we're going to now address this seriously, because throughout the consultation, I was saying, look, to what degree do you want to detox? Because I want to get an indication from him. I can't give him what I think he needs. I need to know what he wants. And I must give him what he wants. But by the end of it, when we saw the blood, when we saw the mycoplasmas, when we saw the parasites, the toxins in the blood, the fat in the blood, the rouleau, the red blood cells sticking together, the distorted red blood cells, the inflammation, the acidity, the lack of zeta potential, lack of electron charge, it was game over. And it's one of the reasons that I love the live blood analysis, because people see, and you just see them going, pale, and it's definitive. It's in your face. You can't hide. I've just taken the blood sample from you and put it on the slide. So it's real. It's not abstract. And fortunately he came. Fortunately she brought him, because, the energy's low. He his life's on top of him. but we plow through, and we take our sleeping tablet every night, and we take our Trustin for the reflux because we continue eating wheat and dairy and heated oils, and that's not going to ever heal us. It's not going to help us. So we had quite a good discussion, and I just think it's very interesting that the very lady who's the case study this evening is the lady who came. So we can't afford not to detox, not in this day and age, because we are getting something like exposure to something like 700,000 toxins a day, and more are developing. And it's a large amount of toxins to get rid of for our liver. It can't really cope. And on top of it, we've got a barrel of toxins that is getting more and more full every day. And then the barrel empties, and there's asthma, there's psoriasis, there's flu, there's degeneration, there's inflammation, autoimmunity, etc., etc. So we can't afford not to. And I also said to him, don't wait for the wake-up call. Rather heal now. And I also, I gave him some examples of clients that come in at 77, and they've been holding on to a deep secret since the age of 26. Deep secret. What do I mean by that? That deep secret, this particular man, I'll show you a picture of it, itchy skin just now, but it's the same. It's the lime skin all over. And he said to me, Jana, do you want to share something with you? My oldest son is not mine. And I found that was really, mind-boggling. So this is what he shouldered his whole life. We have to be very, very careful of this. And, very sobering for everyone. And then when we were working in the holistic ancestral field, I put the deep secret there. And he just said, Jane, there's a lot of questions that need to be answered. So you see, you never know what people are holding on to when they come in. But what I can say is that we need to shed this. The previous client, the one that's just been in now, he's had 2 major shoulder ops because he's shouldering his childhood experiences. It becomes non-functional. And that's not the way life meant to be, as far as I'm concerned. Your comments are welcome. So, the major problem we're dealing with here is the physical representation, and then as well as the emotional root cause, which is underlying the physical representation. Once people understand that, they understand it, they get it. So we need to dig deeper. And then once people understand that there's no more blame, if something's bothering you, look at yourself, because that's what it's about. People put up mirrors for us to learn and grow, opportunities. So once we stop blaming, it also shifts everything. It's awesome. Okay, so it can present in various ways. Itchy skin, brain fog, fatigue, any of the organs, liver problems, kidney, lung, skin, gut, spleen, system, circulation, the bones. And as I said, the problem is never the physical presentation. It's the emotional presentation underneath that. So I think you get all that. The truth is that we need to detox, and it's got to happen physically, neurologically, emotionally, and I would say even linked to spiritually, because that is a holistic detoxification. The body knows what it needs to do. The mind knows what it needs to do. The emotions know what they need to do, and the spiritual overlay happens as well. So that's where we focus at my HIELO Center in Bryanston in Johannesburg, South Africa. We look at a holistic approach to a person as opposed to just fixing the thyroid, just fixing the skin. A dermatologist will never fix the skin if they don't deal with the emotional aspect. You can cut the degeneration out. It will appear somewhere else. There will be remission if you haven't dealt with the emotional problem. So the physical is the catalyst. You can put it over there in a tissue box if you want. Put the lid on. Put an elastic band there. That's the catalyst. Let's deal with the real problem. And we move through. That's the truth. We've got to deal with our real problems. So it matters considerably, detoxification, because a clear body assists with the clear mind, assists with stable emotions, assists with our spirituality. Our spirituality, use that word as consciousness, conscious awareness. And that's where we're striving to raise our conscious awareness our whole life, so that we leave at a higher level than where we left. We don't want to go into the grave with, I don't know how many operations, 22 operations, and, blood that's clotted and thick. And I mean, the family's riddled with heart attacks and arthritis and everything. Why leave in that space? I think you want to leave in as healthy a state as you can, and with a level of satisfaction that you've given this life your best. So that's my 5 cents worth on that. So the HIELO way, I'm always going to default to this, because this is the holistic system, holistic integrated epigenetic life orientation, but it's got the high-low aspect to it, because this is where the balance needs to come in. And we're talking about non-duality. We're talking about non-locality, non-linearity. We're talking about balance, like a yin and a yang, if you like. And this is what we're hoping all the time to balance. So happy and sad will coexist. The minute there's a bit of resistance, oh, lovely, opportunity to grow. Close it. Higher level of, if it is sadness and joy, then we experience the sadness to raise our level of joy. We'll experience fear to raise our level of courage. And we get stronger and stronger and stronger. So every little opportunity is there. We called it, we own it, it's ours. We're responsible. And we work with it. We don't lick that wound and go into the grave with it. Well, it's up to you. It's obviously free choice. We do have a choice. And we do have a system that works. So within my HIELO, we do the holistic ancestral orientation. It works every time. People are flabbergasted. They don't know how, when, where, or why, but they did it. And what we were doing was working in the universal field, the field of wisdom, the Akashic record, the morphogenic field, at the 0 point, which is basically your divinity. So it's leading towards more and more self-discovery. So I think it was Rudolf Steiner said, illness is a gift. And if you look at it like that as well, it takes the pain and misery away, because it's about like, let me knuckle down and deal with this. I understand there's a knock on the door. My body's speaking to me. If I ignore it, the knock's going to get louder. And I see this every single day. How come you didn't know? How come you never reacted? How come, you've had all these months post-COVID trauma? How come you haven't acted yet? Well, how come, it's taken so long? When I see these images on the live blood analysis, when I see what's in the blood, and I'm thinking, but how long have you felt this malaise, this morbidity? How long have you not felt yourself? How long have you not felt alive? And people like this that come in now, I just want to give them a plate of sprouts, microgreens, berries, soaked nuts and seeds, seaweed, to eat. Because I've proved it. Gives you energy. The minute you eat cooked food, it takes your energy. It's a fact. So get a nice balance. The minute you eat white potatoes, white rice, white bread, fried food, takes your energy away. And then the client was saying, well, what about red meat? I said, look at the acidity levels. You answer that. You want to carry on eating it, carry on being acidic, it's your choice. So I don't drink the water. I'll take you to the water. Educate you, give you the right tools, give you the right nutrients. You got to then go and do it. You're the one that's got to get in the sun, put your feet on the ground, breathe properly, do your exercises, hydrate properly, look for joyful things. Keep your mind out of the social media. It's a lot of it's poison, and the blue light is worse than junk food. So these are choices. Unplug for a day. You'll love it, because suddenly you'll hear your inner voice. So I'm sharing with you what I see every day, what we speak to about with people, and you're going to take your the information out of here. This is my HIELO way. We're going to reset. We reset the man, do the analysis, do the assessment with the quantum machines, the live blood analysis. We're then going to move towards restoring, where we're going to bring in the services. So this particular person would do very well on 3 intravenous oxygen Maximiser drips, because it would clean this blood almost instantly. You won't believe the blood, the before and after one of these IVs. It's a slow infusion over 3 hours. You can't believe it. A lady, we carried her in this last week, and extreme abdominal pain. Went to the hospital the week before, and they told her to come back in May. She will be dead by May. Way before, she was almost okay. And halfway through the drip, she was able to sit up and start speaking and communicating with us. And the pain had already subsided. By the end of the 3 hours, the pain was almost gone. She was able to walk out assisted. When she got home, the pain went. The next morning, the pain was still gone. They brought her back the following day because we put her on the oxygen in between. And this is how we were able to get her faculties functioning again and her operating. And it was so sweet to see, somebody who's now just sat up, and you can speak to them. And how little effort did that take? And she was told to wait until May, over 2 months. It's chronic. And she also didn't know what was wrong with her. So luckily we've got these assessment tools to do that. And it works every time, and we see what's really the risk factor gaps. And then we want to close those gaps. We can do the intravenous IV drip or oral oxygen. We can do the infrared sauna, 14 microns, fantastic for detox, subtle, works. You know it, you've cleared. The brain clears quickly. Acupuncture, this is also non-verbal healing, like the NQB, where we assess and realign. And then the emotional release, again, it's non-verbal healing, but it's palpable, it's visible. So we get to work with the services, we get going, and then we're going to look at the various bundles. So the bundle for today is dealing with the detoxification in particular. So crucial, circulation. So if you're not circulating, this lady included, we couldn't get the drip in. It took the nurse 2 hours to get the drip in, because at the end of her fingers, and her toes, she was absolutely white. There was zero circulation. And when I say zero, I mean zero. You could prick her finger, no blood came out. You could put her finger on the oximeter to get the blood oxygen saturation, no reading. That's how scary it was. And then by the end of it, when we did eventually, we gave her lots to drink, and we gave her a foot soak, and we did what we normally do. And by the end of it, we were able to, then we got the blood circulating. So that's a 3-hour oxygen drip. That's what it does for you. It's incredible. And I'm not taking any glory from that. It works, and I don't know all of it, how it's happening, but it happens. Okay, charges those electrons, the oxygen comes in, energy comes through, flow. So this client included needs the Vitaflow. That's the pine bark extract and the grapeseed extract mostly. And it forms also nitric oxide, which we're all looking for, because that helps the flow incredibly. So we've got 2 massive antioxidants there working at increasing blood flow to every single organ, every single cell of the body. Wow. So that is a major product for detoxification, because it's taking the oxygen and the food to the cell, and it's taking the waste away. So we've got beautiful circulation, the wheels turning. We're definitely going to bring in the DMSO. I've got it here. This is the plant tree sap. It's a solvent. It starts dissolving toxins that are in its way. And, you can take this with the oxygen, or you can take it morning and evening, morning, midday, evening. This is just with us wherever we go. If your muscles are sore and things, you can watch my other YouTube videos. That's on my YouTube channel, do subscribe, because you will get the minute I upload, you will get the replay. Like and comment and give me suggestions going forward. So DMSO is an absolute win, and so is the cell oxygen, and we've got drops and capsules. And this is where the action happens. Very important. In the other bundles, I've also included the Almost Gold. So the man today definitely got Almost Gold, because we need to go and also use alchemical gold, silver, copper, nickel from a detox point of view to go and heal all the degeneration that we saw. So these are crucial. We've got to charge the body and bring the oxygen in. The para-immune defense, it's got about 7 major antifungal, antibacterial, antivirals, and I put it together specifically. So with the oxygen, there's no shape-shifting. The organisms can't hide. With the para-immune, they also can't, because we're hitting them straight before they even know it. They can't go anywhere. So that is very important to be taken on at a different stage, a different time to the cell oxygen, because an oxidant and an antioxidant don't go together. So the para-immune is crucial. The DCalci-X, so para-immune is getting rid of parasites and to an extent toxins as well. So is the DMSO and the cell oxygen. It's just removing. We've got our flow from the Vitaflow. Now, there's in many instances calcification, this person included. Oh, he's had gallstones before. They took the gallbladder out. He's had kidney stones before. When you're calcifying, your body's acidic, and it's not going to stop until you become alkaline. You will calcify in your brain, the pineal, pituitary, hypothalamus. They stop secreting hormones. People then go on oral hormone support, bioidentical, etc., adrenal support, insulin support, digestive support. It just, all you've got to do is decalcify. So and also on the vessels and the bones in particular, prostate. So this is a vital one, the DCalci-X. It's one of our newest. These are news. These are news. The Vitaflow is new, the DCalci-X is new, and the Lymph Lumina is new. So we've cleared degeneration and scarring and things. We've cleared parasites. We've cleared calcification. Now we're clearing the lymph. Remember, the lymph also circulates. It doesn't have anything to drive the circulation, though, so you need to move. So if lymph's building up, your body's stagnant. The Lymph Lumina is lovely. It's got chasteberry. It's got cat's claws, the main ingredients. And we get fantastic results. And this is crucial for people with degeneration. And then we're clearing the lymph, and we're also clearing the fat out. So this detox bundle works wonders. If you wanted to add one thing else, if it was extreme, serious, I would put in the Almost Gold. So this is for week 4, the detox bundle. We're going to have a look at the other 3 weeks prior to this, just as a summary. So that you can see how I brought the other nutrients in after the case study. So with the case study, this is classic Lyme's disease. And you can see this rash. The man I spoke about with the rash has got the rash everywhere. And here we've got this, and then this is what we look like after 5 months. And there's an in-between slide which I didn't put, because what happens here is this dries, and then it's like a snake, the scale sheets of skin just fall off. And then underneath it, you get this absolute beautiful baby skin. It's just too beautiful. So the wife of the man who came earlier, just before this presentation, she had this everywhere. She came in to see me, and she'd had Lyme's for 8 years already, and we brought her through to full recovery. This lady was bent over. She couldn't eat. She hadn't worked for 6 months. She was stressed about that. They disallowed her from driving. She was so bad, so she couldn't even drive and fetch her daughter from school. She couldn't, as I said, she couldn't eat. She couldn't sleep. She was going crazy. The parasites were everywhere. We found them in the live blood. I showed her, and I'll show you a picture in a moment. Headaches, sweating. there's about 93 symptoms of Lyme's disease. And I really, really, really have specialized in this because you see it so often and people have it and they don't even know. So we boosted her immunity. We gave her the RNA, DNA, the replic RNA, DNA, the microbiome reset as well, the Almost Gold, the Peri-Immune, the oxygen, the DMSO, and started. And because she was so weak, her body took a long time to start fully detoxifying because it was too weak. You can't draw blood out of a stone. So I had to work very carefully with her body's capacity to heal, if that makes sense. And as the body healed a bit more, we could increase the doses a little bit. But she really, really, really struggled. But she did it. And in 3 months, there was a massive improvement already. And in 5 months, she was over it. So this is what we saw. This is the under the microscope dark field. You see these? These are spirochetes. Spirochetes under the dark field microscope, and they have a worm-like motion, but they're spinning. It's a spirochete. These are red blood cells. It's just the light. We're bringing the blue in. So I wanted you to see this, and this is what we see under my microscope. So in 3 months, she was driving again. 5 months, fully functional. Skin was clear, brain was clear, energy and functionality had returned. And my main aim with people is to get them to think clearly and live productively in all areas of their lives. Why not? We came here to live that life. We didn't come here to struggle and strife and sad and angry and resentful and fear and grief and jealousy and, all of those things that go with it. We came here to use those as tools to shift. So this was really, really remarkable. She's a walking example case study, and it's her husband's turn now to be the case study. So what are we offering today? I'm offering 15% off all the bundles. It's a 7-day flash sale, and these are the various boxes and detox bundles I'm going to go through quickly with you. But don't phone me and say, which bundle should I get? Get an assessment. If it's a half an hour assessment, an hour assessment, if you want the live blood, it gives you a little bit more. As I said, it's not so abstract. You can actually see and you can check your before and afterwards very clearly. Do the assessment first. Crucial. Benchmark yourself. Know those risk factors, because it might be other organs that are also upset, just in disorder. There may be other diseases that we find. For example, immunity, pain, inflammation, those kind of things. So the first step is always to do that assessment. And then let's have a look at some of the boxes here to see how I've coordinated this for you. So option 1 is a reset box. These products are all individually put on sale on the website, the 365 Healthy by Choice website. So you can make your own bundle if you like. These are ideas. The reset box has always been there. And for somebody who doesn't know, who can't do a benchmark, who lives on the other end of the world somewhere, not necessarily, but these are my 4 mainstays. And you can watch my other YouTube webinars. I explain this very, very carefully. We've got to get good digestion with the microbiome reset. We have to have proper digestion with over 80 live effective microorganisms and enzymes. And then our 2nd generation brew as well. I'm told it's hands down the best probiotic in the stores by the clients, by the way, by the users. So we've got to have proper digestion. We've got to have proper absorption with the flaxseed oil, proper electrical potential, and then we want to use the oxygen and the DMSO to heal. That's my mainstay. That's about 1,270 less 15%. So you might as well take it now. You might as well stock up, because I'm not sure when these prices are going to come back. I'll put it on special again. Now we've got a foundational bundle, which we started with second week this in March. And a foundational bundle has got to do with mainly with the almost gold, silver, copper, nickel, all the platinum, precious metal minerals, palladium, osmium, things you read about but you don't know where to get. So almost gold is deficient in the soil and the food. It's required intercellularly and extracellularly in the interstitial fluid. We've got to have gold. It's the biggest detox element on the periodic table. And that's going to work emotionally, neurologically, and physically, and therefore spiritually. So we come from almost gold. It's one of the essential nutrients that helps us take form. And then we've got our peptides. And I really went to town on peptides because I spoke to you 2 weeks ago. In the RNA DNA, we have the 5 major building block proteins. Okay? The 5 major building block proteins that are going to make every single protein structure in your body. So there are the building block peptides. They're called nucleotides. Starts in the nucleus at the cell division state. So every cell division thereafter is going to be better than the one before, and better than the one before, and goes on. So it will even throw out abnormal spike proteins that shouldn't be in the body in the first place. It's going to normalize your DNA, your RNA and your DNA, your chromosomes, your genetic DNA blueprint, if you like. So it's absolutely essential to have the replica RNA and DNA. I take it every single day. And I've also given it to my pets over the years. And honestly, I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this, but my dogs have changed. I can see it genetically, the quality of their hair, the straightness of their, and a whole lot of things. So my dogs get the RNA, DNA too. They also get zeolite, they also get spirulina, they also get kelp, they also get oxygen, they also get probiotics, they also get flaxseed oil. Why wouldn't they? So the results speak for themselves. When we go to the longevity bundle, we're going to speak more about peptides, because don't be fooled by marketing. These peptides for the thyroid, these ones for the gut, these ones for the kidney, absolutely no. You take these and you have all 5 building block peptides for the entire body, and that's scientific. And there are yeast cell wall fragments already in the individual peptide format. So when you consume that, the body gets busy. It says, I want some of this, I want some of that. This is urgent, that's more urgent than that. I'm going to do this first, and it just snaps it up. Boost your immunity, used at the top cancer clinics in the world. And that's for a reason. We use it too. And for membranes, cell membranes, mucous membranes, the gut, the lungs, genitourinary, it's going to heal that for you too. And there's scientific studies on that. So do not miss that. The stem cells, really, really important. Activa stem cells. The 5 building block plant-based stem cell activators. So RNA DNA will activate stem cells, of course, because it's protein. Stem cells are made from proteins. So you're gonna have all the proteins that are required there in your body. The stem cells have already structured a bit into things like royal jelly, blue-green algae, lion's mane, cordyceps foti. So they've structured slightly. They're still loose, but it has structure. It doesn't matter. It also helps the body incredibly. Okay, but these ones, I'll tell you that chlorella in particular will assist with mRNA, like pollen. So they're closer to this in terms of getting your the chromosome links. But this will take over the stem cells, and we all need stem cells because that's growth and repair. Growth and repair is protein. And then we've got our cell oxygen, our probiotic, the microbiome reset. We can't do without that, and our flaxseed oil. So this is just an enhancement moving on from the microbiome reset. We're bringing in the almost gold here. We're bringing in the RNA, DNA, and the stem cells. And then option 2 was our longevity bundle, the performance peptides. And here, if we wanted to look at longevity in the true sense, fully functioning performance levels of the body, the peptides are critical. The almost gold is critical. The replica RNA, as I said, the activa stem cells, and then the integra collagen, plant-based. So it is a plant-based formulation, and gets the body making its own collagen. Wow. So that's crucial, because we don't want to just give the body collagen, because then it stops making anything. So we want to activate it and train the cells to make it again, and in particular connective tissue. So often when the parasites are there, they dissolve the collagen, and the connective tissue starts disappearing in the body, and that's not good either, because that holds everything together. That's a new one, the integra collagen, plant-based. So this one here is for longevity. They're your 4 major nutrients in the bundle. Very, very important. And then if you get what I'm saying, then you can work this all out yourself. The brain and the emotional bundle, the emotional side we're going to deal with HAO, but I want to just make a point here. These 365 healthy by choice nutrients are in the quantum state, exactly as nature intended, which means they're holistic, which means they're going to work in you physically, neurologically, emotionally, and spiritually. So they're already going to be assisting with emotional release, already waking the body up, already assisting with release. So the emotions release is supported by the right nutrients at the same time. They open up the meridians. When you're opening up meridians, you start unbundling memories. The nutrients in the bundle, the brain fuel and the stress defense shield, either in smoothie form, which I love. It's positively highly addictive because it's so lovely. It's so yummy. It's the fastest food I know, because you can whip this up, a tablespoon of the smoothie, which has got a cacao base with a hemp protein base with 30 other nutrients in it. Your soaked nuts, your soaked berries, a little bit of honey if you want, your water or your green tea, and you whiz that up and you happy for hours. Or you can take it in a capsule form. So I've also got the stress defense shield and the brain fuel in capsule form. The brain fuel's got a slightly additional nutrients like gotcha cola, rhodiola, bacopa, just for a bit of oxygen to the brain. But memory comes back with this. It's incredible. The Macuna we bring in because that one's going to help with the brain neurotransmitters. Often the brain amplitude is really low. The hormones are low. So we can actually help here. The blue light that we're looking at right now is busy draining our dopamine. It's busy draining, the dopamine, the neurotransmitters. So this comes in handy. Most people are low in serotonin, happy hormone as well. One of the reasons is they don't take the probiotic. So this probiotic is going to make your neurotransmitters. So while we're making it, we can bring some natural food, Macuna, which grows with the cacao plant in the forest. It's food in to come and support, and it's instantly makes people happier. So let's say a depressed client, you want to give them a probiotic for sure, because it's going to bring serotonin, dopamine, GABA, and all those neurotransmitters in straight away. But we're going to give them the Macuna too, because it just comes in, and it's also a stress adaptogen, and it's just silently there and picks you up. You can concentrate for ages with Macuna, even if you're not stressed. And then we've got the stress adaptogens, the 5 top, rhodiola, ashwagandha, shatavari, astragalus, ginseng in the stress adaptogens. Again, silently working with the body. You would use your intuition here as to which one or both. You could take Makuna in the morning, stress adaptogens in the evening, and they really, really work. And then I've put the magnesium malate in there because magnesium will also calm the emotions and the physical. And we use the malate there because malate is malic acid, which actually decalcifies. And because everybody is acidic and stressed and that, the magnesium malate works for us. And we also use that in our oxygen clinic for the chronic disease people. So, there's a picture there of our drips and our infrared saunas and the acupuncture behind there. And we got you sorted when you come here. And a fifth option would be what we've done today, the detox option. The Vitaflow flies out of here. The Decalcix flies out of here. The Lymph Lumina is flying out of here too. The Para-Immune flies out of here. The Fat Go does. Even thin people take Fat Go because you just take one look at their blood under the live blood analysis, under the microscope, a bright field and dark field, and there's just fat. So people need to get off this idea that you fry your food. We need to use only water at the stove, and I probably say this just about every webinar. Fat is a food for parasites, and it blocks your cell wall. Heated fat. The only one you want to take from a medicinal point of view is the flaxseed oil. The other oils don't have the properties. It's got the highest life force of all the oils. That means that the electron spin is closely bound to the central neutron and proton, moving very, very fast. The higher the life force, the higher the energy. So flaxseed oil is medicinal. The other ones, if you want a little bit of ava oil, make sure it's cold pressed. If you want a little bit of olive oil, make sure it's cold pressed. Whatever oil you take, if you want a little bit of coconut oil, make sure it's cold pressed. And you don't cook with it. So you water, stir fry, and steam your veggies, boil or poach your eggs, grill or fry meat. Get the heated fat off as far as possible. Take a good probiotic so that you're going to digest proteins and oils and carbs, etc. Take your flaxseed oil to get it absorbed. And do away with this fat in the blood because that's just a recipe for disaster. You're going to be living on Vitaflow for circulation if you're going to eat heated fat. The veins get blocked, the clots form, and the parasites just grow because they eat it. They eat the fat. So just in summary, I've told you we can't afford not to detox. I've given you a case study. We've also done a lung case study this month. We've also done another detox where I showed you the man's hand where the toxins were just pouring out. And I've given you more examples. I think each one of you is your own case study. Everybody who comes here is a case study because everybody detoxes. We've got what we need. We've got a natural power bank here, toolkit. And the rest is up to you. So I've really spent this month talking about the age of prevention, the 2026 health revolution. And I've done that specifically to teach on the one hand and to raise awareness. Refer the people to me. Let's get onto them quickly. I don't want them arriving here and, lying on a blanket in my driveway, waiting to go to the clinic. And then we wrestle for 2 hours to try and get a blood flow. Bring them early. What I say, those of you with long-term COVID, let's clear it. I don't, you can't be saying still in another 5 years' time, I've still got long-term COVID. Well, the choice is yours. So let's get on to those special offers and let's book our assessment. And you can go to the sale page on the 365healthybychoice.com and pick your bundles, pick your choices. I've helped arrange the bundles for you. And I also have boxes like the reset box, and those have been there for a long time too. And I'm giving you that 15% off 7 days. So get onto it and stock up and be healthy. And, I just want to honor all of those people who've trusted themselves and worked with holistic health and well-being and achieved the results. So I'll continue giving you case studies. I will continue sharing with you. And if you've got ideas for me, then, let me know as well, please, because I'm only as good as you. And if you give me feedback, I know what to share with you. All right. So I'm looking forward to working with everybody and sharing. And I'm going to end there. Thank you very much for being here and for my clients who I know. Thank you so much it's been an honor to work with all of you too. And I'm as good as you and you're as good as me. So we're a team. And I'm in permanent reset. Nothing's ever going to change that. That is my direction and I'm bulleting through. It's my path and I learn every single day. And I'm just full of gratitude for that. I'm humbled. And it's funny, the more you know, the less you feel you know. It kind of expands in front of you. And that's our nature, isn't it? Absolute pleasure. All right. See you next week. Those of you who are not on my WhatsApp groups, to get, the live stuff first or on my email, let me know, direct message me, and let's share with as many people as possible. All right. Enjoy the weekend.